Good morning, folks. New phone. So this is the first time filming with the new phone. What has this got to do with? The lack of common sense, okay? The one thing that never gets old. Every morning I get up and I have people, you're insulting me. People are offended because I'm saying the lack of common sense. It is a lack of common sense for me to put that mirror up there like I did in this wind, knowing that was going to happen, but I still did it. It's still a lack of common sense. Wasn't planned. It was a lack of common sense on my part. I'm not offended by myself though. It's a lack of common sense to feel the wind. Look. Now, lack of common sense. Trying to compare the sun and the way it radiates light to a stream, to water coming out of a hose. It's more than a lack of common sense. It's plain stupid. I fully understand that it's something that has been taught, right? Now, when I say lack of common sense, it's not me personally insulting people. There is a general lack of common sense, and it has been taught because it just has, right? Now, for those of you that think comparing a stream or a hose and the water coming out of the hose to a star radiating light, it is a lack of common sense. But I get it's not your fault because these stupidities have been taught. These are the nudges that I'm always given, and I know for a fact where it's come from. It's what you've been taught, right? Now, I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. People are saying, yeah, but there is a time delay between the light leaving the sun and reaching Earth. There has to be, but you will not measure that time delay. It's not even 300 billionths of a second, right? Atomic clocks in 1971. It's absolute. It is not a measurable quantity. How do I know? Because my common sense is fully intact. I fully understand that when there is a solar eclipse happening, there is no light delay between the sun and it reaching here and casting the moon's shadow, or it reaching the moon and the moon casting its shadow. There is no delay. There will be a delay, but you will not measure that delay because it is so fast, it is not a measurable quantity. But what they're telling you is it takes 8 minutes and 20 seconds. It is a lie. There are no photons involved. Slam dunk. Now what I have here is a flashlight and a hose. Now, you seriously want me to believe that they are nudging you, suggesting that these, look, this is where there is a lack of common sense. Now, I have got a mirror there, right? We should be facing the mirror. Now, look at the hose, yeah? See that? That? I didn't hit the board yet. Now, I'm going to press on the light. Now, can you see the light flashing? Right? See that? Now, if I cover that up with my hand, right? Let me zoom in. Right? Let's get right in front of that mirror. So you can see it flashing, right? Now that light is happening in real time. And you want to compare that this water reaching that mirror, and you think that it's the same as the flashlight. You honestly believe that it's a fair comparison. You're going to compare the water leaving this nozzle, right, and reaching that mirror to the light from this flashlight reaching that mirror. That, I'm afraid, is a lack of common sense. It doesn't matter what color you try and paint this. I say that quite often. It's a lack of overall common sense. It isn't logical. But then again, nothing that they teach people is logical. And there's a reason for that. Now, let's have a look, see if we can see that a bit better now. Right, see it? Got it flashing, okay? Now, if I put my hand over that, I'm covering it up with my hand so I don't have to press the button. Right, I need to get it just so that I can, boop, there we go. So if I zoom in, you'll see me holding it, right? Now, first of all, how long do you think it would take for that water from the hose pipe, from this, to reach that mirror, bounce back, and get me wet? How long would it take for this water to reach that mirror that we're looking at, right, and bounce back and hit me? If it could bounce back off of the mirror and get me wet, how long? Look, let's have a look. Let's just do the mirror first. 1, 2, 3, go. What? That took, what, a 10th, a 20th of a second? Look, press. Bang, just hit the mirror, press. Just hit the mirror, bang, press. Just hit the mirror, light. Bang, bang, bang. Now, if I move back 50 meters and I had a fireman's hose, how long do you think it would take water to leave the fireman's hose, hit the mirror, and then bounce back and hit me? More than a second, more than 2 seconds. If I did that with a flashlight from 50 meters into the mirror, what's going to happen? We're going to see it happen in real time. How about a lighthouse? 40, 50 kilometers away. You see the light instantly as soon as it flashes. How long would it take for water from this hose to travel the distance that the light from a lighthouse has to travel? Now, this is what I mean by a lack of common sense. You cannot compare what is coming out of this to what is coming out of that. If you do, it's just a lack of common sense. I understand it's not your fault, right? But people, you need to stop being offended by me when I say shit. That's just a lack of common sense, because it isn't meant to be an insult. It's the truth. But I fully understand that you've been taught these things. Do you see where I'm coming from? You cannot compare anything to a light source and the light it radiates. The reason for that is because light is absolute. I'll say it again. Yes, there has to be some kind of time delay between the sun and the light reaching the moon for it to then cast its shadow. But that light delay from the sun to the moon is not a measurable quantity. It is too fast. But to believe 8 minutes and 20 seconds, that is just a lack of common sense. They are lying. They are lying to you. And it's obvious, right? Light is absolute. A light source will radiate its light to as far as it's going to go at absolute speed. Prove me wrong. None of this, no, you prove the photon wrong. You don't have to. The solar eclipse has done that. Okay? So, happy Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Yeah, it is. Stop being offended when I say a lack of common sense. I understand that it's not people's fault. You have been misled. They are lying, okay? So I am on your team, if you haven't realized that already. That's kind of about it. Don't compare light and a light source and the way light leaves it and reaches someone somewhere else to a hose or a stream and water trickling down a river, or a car in a town has to get from one side of town to the other side of town, and people are comparing it to light leaving the sun and reaching the moon. It is not a measurable quantity. It is too fast. Capiche? All right. Let's see how the new phone went. Laters, peeps. Look. You know for a fact that if I was 100 kilometers, look, the sun, it will bounce, a mirror will bounce the sun's light up to 125 miles. A 10 to 12 centimeter diameter mirror. How long would it take a hose to freaking send water 120 miles? Look, don't be offended when I say a lack of common sense. I understand it's not people's fault, all right? You cannot compare a star or any light source with something that is spraying water somewhere. It is purely a lack of common sense. All right, peeps.